fighting games.
Yeah, I'm terrible at them.
I thought you played fighting games or something.
I do. I just don't play the furry ones.
Do you want to introduce it?
Yes.
Yeah, Mason, you take it away. We're busy.
It is with high regard that I say welcome to the FN Movie Podcast this week. Set your sights on what we're playing right now. Nathan will tell you what it is.
Fighting herds.
Yeah, them fighting herds.
How do you spell
Them
herds?
fighting
Just
herds.
for the honey.
H-E-R-D-S?
Okay, probably so.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is definitely a perfect game for this.
Yeah, it's very appropriate to the movie that we're going to be reviewing.
It fits
today.
in with the themes of like police brutality,
Gang
socioeconomic,
violence.
gang violence.
Family.
I haven't seen any
Family's a
blood
big
yet.
one.
Yeah. This is low-key a Fast and Furious movie in disguise.
I watched that the other day.
Oh my. Which one?
The new one.
Oh.
It's crazy. Anyways, today we're talking about the Raid Redemption. Dylan gave us absolutely nothing to work with until basically this morning or last night.
What?
About how this is like an English release, and for some reason it's called something different,
Wow.
and it was really hard to find for some. But we found it, and we watched it.
Just me, apparently.
Yeah,
There we go.
it was okay.
Wait.
But anyways, it's an Indonesian movie about basically a tower setup, and
It's
fighting their
it's
way
an
up
apartment complex.
a tower.
It's
A tower.
Literally level by level.
Would you call it a oh my god.
How many
Anyway.
floors was it?
Dude, this one.
it wasn't
Seven.
good.
No, there's
Oh,
15. There was definitely at least 15.
15.
Because
floors.
that's
Was
because
the
that's
top
where the
floor
boss
was where what's his was.
Yeah.
I don't know how many apartment complexes have like 15 floors,
We're
but I'm
moving-
also
we're moving to like the
bowling green.
Well, you're
21st
talk-
floor.
All right, so it's a high rise. First of all, is the word that he's looking for.
This is the shittiest looking high rise I've ever seen.
This is not important. Anyway, the summary goes as follows. You start off with this guy doing workouts and punching stuff and realizing he's got a baby on the way, so you immediately know this is our main character right
Yes.
Yeah.
here. So you move on, figure out he's in a SWAT team basically, and they're infiltrating this apartment complex that this drug lord guy houses and lets people live there. Who take his drugs and stuff. He's got two head people, Mad Dog and I forgot the brains guy.
The names in this movie are going to be so tough.
I have no idea. I remember Mad Dog.
I can tell you right now, we're
Shaka.
not going to use any of these names. So we've got two of the main bodyguards for the drug lord, main
Yeah.
character, and old dude. That's it.
As I was saying, infiltrate the apartment complex. Everything's going swimmingly. They're assassinating people, pow pow, pew pew, doing all that good stuff. And then a kid comes up, and they're like, "We can't shoot the kid. He's not a drug kid." And then he runs away. They shoot the kid anyway, but they get the alarm off.
Police!
Everything takes off from there.
Low-key the best scene of the entire movie.
And
Yeah.
when they shoot the kid, that's what made
That was
about
the
it, I
coolest
guess.
part.
What a precision shot through a
That
door.
was a
yeah, through the
headshot.
door.
Closed.
That was
This
like,
guy
yeah.
shoots kids through doors often based
Oh, yeah.
on this shot. For the record.
You gotta think about the fact too that a kid is shorter than an adult.
In the so he had the account.
He knew exactly
drift.
where to aim
Yeah.
to kill that
Yeah,
kid.
see, this happens every time. I don't know. Yeah, fix it again, Nathan.
It did it again.
So anyway, so the police are doing a raid. It seems to be kind of like off the
Apparently we
books.
start without you.
It seems to be pretty off the books. Like the little narrative that we get in this film seems to just be that like this drug dealer got a hit put on him, but they don't really say from who. I guess go watch the raid 2 to find out more, but we didn't.
Yeah.
So anyway, also everybody in all the cops seem to know some bit of martial arts. And most of the crack addict, well, I'm not sure if it's all crack. Most of the drug addicts in the apartment complexes seem to be pretty proficient in some martial arts, or at least attacking as
Or
well.
just machete
Or
wielding.
just extremely well equipped. Lots
you
of
know,
guns.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this movie takes place in a very large apartment complex where everyone is on side with the gang.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
yeah, everybody's on board for the little drug deal.
Did you all feel as though this movie almost feels like a zombie movie?
Yes,
at
and by
points?
design too.
Like
So,
Wreck.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It gave me wreck
Because
vibes the entire
at
time.
points there's just like swarms of humans
Well, it
moving,
was
and they're
waves.
just being gunned down.
Right.
It was waves of people.
Indiscriminately.
Yeah, so I managed to catch on the Wikipedia page that was like very much intentional. That was by design. They wanted it to be like very survival horror, but without actually using zombies.
Yeah.
And just the way of their action, which made sense because originally I didn't know if I could find a movie with the sub version on it, so I was literally gonna just be like, am I just gonna have to watch this without subs and then just put together the plot via like Wikipedia?
That would be
Well,
rough.
I was afraid
It would
that
destroy
was
me.
gonna happen with me too, because I paid to watch it on YouTube to rent it.
I paid on Amazon,
And,
yeah.
I did too.
Like my browser lets me pop out the video, so that's what I did.
Mm-hmm.
And then the subtitles don't follow you whenever you do that, so I ended
no.
up having to go back. But at first, like that whole beginning conversation, it wasn't until like 2 minutes in that I was like, okay, surely I'm not about to just sit through this whole thing and not have a clue what is being
Which
Right.
honestly, you could have probably picked it
Yeah,
up.
I
pretty
mean,
well.
honestly,
Like,
it's
there's-
not the most important thing about this story.
This movie's a little over like hour 35, and maybe 10 minutes of this is
It's
real
an
dialogue.
hour 46, believe me. I remember because that does factor into my score.
Okay, Price is gonna give this a 4. I'm gonna tell you right now. So, either way, so it feels like 10:35. Price is silly. He watched all the credits too, I guess. But
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was only 140.
Yeah,
and
it
that
was 140.
including credits.
with credits,
This one.
so you're either making up a number or just being bad at hosting as usual. Price, but moral of the story. Just makes up numbers, just to make up lies, to make sure his stuff has a narrative. Classic Price. But yeah, let's get into the discussion.
All
So
right.
because
All right,
it's-
you know
it's
what?
important.
Can I start?
No, I wanted to.
My one qualm with this entire movie, my one qualm.
This got wrecked.
They had like a 15 to a 20 man squad trying to take down an entire
Apartment.
Holiday Inn size like area,
This
known
poor
for
Hilton Gardens
junkies,
Inn.
lackeys, and 2 bodyguards that they made sure to tell
Literally
you
just
how
2.
bad they were.
Yeah.
You guys remember that? Like the play
Yeah,
up
they
for
did
that?
the whole preface part was just like, so he's got
Mad
2
Dog's
dudes.
a fucking crazy
He's
dude.
fucking nuts. He'll kill you with his hands.
Yeah.
The other guy will shoot you. What? And then like, oh yeah, there's a bunch of other junkies, but like that probably shouldn't be that bad. And then they were all very bad and heavily armed.
Well, so here's the thing though, like, and I like their style. At the beginning, they were like taking prisoners. They were like, they were tying
they're
people
playing it
up.
very by
they were
the books.
putting duct tape on them, and dude, no joke. At the very beginning of this, I was like, they can't do this for 1,500 rooms. Like, they can't do this.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially if these people are supposed to be bad. And it wasn't like 5 seconds later that kid.
Yeah, it was
for
like
some
floor
reason
three
they were
or
like,
something.
"Oh, this kid's totally gonna be on our side." I think
Yeah.
we've got. No, of course he's gonna run as soon as you put your guns down.
Right.
Anyways, that was my one qualm. They did not have nearly enough. And also on the SWAT ride there, they were like, "Teams have tried to infiltrate this place, but today is the day.
And our
we
hero-
are trained."
And our hero is like, why us and why
Please.
today?
Right.
Take me back home.
What's any different about us compared to anybody else? And they're like,
That's my only problem because, like, at that moment, they start obliterating the SWAT team. If they had 20 people, you would never have guessed it because, like, 15 people die within the first, like...
oh yeah, the first shell blast.
Yeah,
up
they're,
top,
like, shooting down
They
at
take
them
out like 10 right off the
right
bat.
then.
Like,
But,
yeah.
but from then on, it is pretty okay, and the pacing isn't too terrible as far as, like... I don't know. I wish that they would... If they had 20 people... Don't let them get gunned down right at the very beginning because that shit is insane. And also just like span it out.
Are you saying the pacing of the deaths? Like, not the pacing of the movie?
If you
just
tell me
the
that there's
pacing of the
20
deaths.
Well,
20 trained people coming in,
They're killing off the red shirts. Like, you're
Yeah.
not there for them.
But
like,
that's
you're,
still
listen,
fine.
You're there
Right.
for the
You're there
hero,
for
the
2 people.
The hero and the sergeant.
but
Like,
the thing was, the
that's it.
fighting scenes were never ending with this hero. Like,
Oh, and
he
his
was getting
handy-capable friend as
bashed.
well.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah,
Right,
Like,
so-
I'm just saying,
Don't
let
worry.
those 20 people die. I mean, they do it in movies with like 8 people all the time. Where like you don't have to give a whole storyline for those 8 people.
But I'm saying, like, I'm kind of glad they did that because, I mean, they're cutting the chat.
True, yeah, they were
Like-
cutting the fat off of it.
Like, you're not. What is that?
That's my buddy.
How did you do that?
I don't know, but I'm
That
not
character
near
sucks.
That guy.
I think it's a puppet character actually. Okay, so but yeah, there's a lot of plot with this, but we'd be remiss not to sit here and talk about why we're actually watching this movie. It's the action, and I think I want to get into this one. Which
No,
is,
I don't. I want to cut back first because
Oh,
you're
God
saying like
damn it.
like we're done with the plot. See,
well, I'm not saying we're done with the plot.
That's
I'm
one of
saying
my,
that
like,
we're getting into the plot on an action movie that is not trying to be a plot-based movie, but go ahead and make
Well, that's
your
just one of my problems with this movie is that, like, it does... I'm glad that it has minimal plot. I'm fine with that. Like, you're in this apartment complex, we need to kill the bad guy. That's all it is.
Yeah.
But then it drags on too long, and, like, if it's just going to be about the action, cut, like, 20 minutes of it out. Like, I don't need... all the other stuff. Like, I know they're going to kill the bad guy. I know they're trying to infiltrate the complex. That's it. And it just kept going and going when it really could have just been a good, neat, tight, hour, 20-minute movie. So I think they tried with the plot just a little bit too much.
I mean, yeah, because I get it. This is clearly going to be something that's going to be a franchise, and they want to have some semblance of a plot that makes sense, an excuse to have it. But
yeah,
at the same time, yeah, like I'm not watching this movie for deep espionage characters or anything like that. I couldn't tell you the name of one character other than Mad Dog, and
Mad Dog.
And he was low-key the best character,
and that's arguable, to be honest. Yeah, to be fair.
I disagree.
So, all right, can we talk about the action yet?
Well, yeah, I mean that's the whole movie.
Okay, so into the actual action.
I can't believe you won. I hated that character.
Yeah, so I can define all of the best action as every 26 minutes or so, something really sweet was about to happen in this movie.
That's so specific.
No, well, okay, so
Yeah,
I started to notice, right, the all of the good action, like, because there is definitely a tier of good action versus just, like, the passive, like, we're using this to move scenes action, right? The motion action versus, like, the actual sets where they're fighting and doing stuff. So the first one...
I want to get back to the motion part, but...
Okay, yeah. Well, don't worry. We'll talk about what I will call the motion action, aka the bad action of this. But, yeah, so right around axe o'clock, things were starting to turn up for me, right?
Wait,
so
what's
like
axe o'clock?
Axe o'clock is
Whenever
whenever
the
everybody's
axe
been
was
shooting and it's
getting
been dumb gun action for a while.
Oh my god.
But then they get trapped in that room with the
Oh,
refrigerator
yeah.
and that, and then they're like, "We need to get out of here." The guy's like tiptoeing around, and he just starts taking a fucking axe to the floor.
Well, he
right?
hears it's hollow.
Yes, I mean, yeah, there's a reason for it. So
Yeah, I didn't mind that.
I'm not saying that there wasn't for it. I'm just saying this is where the axe comes in, and the axe
I'm a
action
fire
really
guy,
starts
right?
showing up.
Yeah.
So the axe action is pretty fun. Like then we start finally getting into like the real melee stuff, and like people are coming in and they're chopping down, and like they have this interesting set, like admittedly a pretty sweet setup where there's like a top floor and a bottom floor with a hole. People are dropping down and they're just fucking cutting them up.
And the guy gets shot through the floor.
Yeah, the guy gets shot through the floor. He gets ripped.
See,
and talk about again another zombie moment. Suddenly
Very
he's falling
zombie
to the floor, and
yeah.
it's like somebody get me up. It's like you don't know what's
Yeah.
going on down
No, no,
there.
no.
For all you know, he's getting,
Right.
just getting ripped apart
But
by zombies.
I really like that element of the movie, though. I like that they took a survival horror angle without
Wonderful
actually
movies.
having to give us just straight zombies. They used
Yeah.
all of the elements there. And I think the action really shines in this, like these little 26-minute windows, right? So the ones where, like, this one hits.
Paprika, just like the movie.
No.
I did like with the gunplay in this movie. I liked how they used terrain to their advantage. Like they shot through doors and stuff like that, and like caused real damage to people. Because I mean that's more how it would be like in real life.
Say,
I like
too,
that.
Though, isn't it kind of weird? There wasn't a lot of moments that this happened, but often enough, somebody would close a door and then like put their back up against it to hold the door.
Yeah, and I was
it's
like,
don't
that's-
do that.
They've been
guns
shooting every door.
They're shooting the doors.
Yeah, I had
Don't
that.
block the door with your body.
Yeah, it seemed like at least 16 of these guys had like just the survival instincts of a sandwich.
I'm
right?
telling you
Like,
right
they
now,
were, they were not doing well
If
to
there
stay
was
alive.
20 of them, I wouldn't have been able to tell because all of them fucking died in the
Yeah.
first 5 seconds, and that was my only issue. Like, come on.
Well, they're all
Right.
rookies too, and none
Yeah.
of them
They were
had.
on a SWAT
They-
team.
they
Well,
did-
they're a
that
rookie
was the
SWAT
whole
team,
thing
though.
too. Is they were supposed to be rookies.
They did not
Yeah.
have the motivation to live.
Why
that our
would you
main
take a
character
20
did.
bad
You
rookie
saw
crew?
his pregnant wife.
None of them have
Yeah.
kids. They're all single rookies.
Yeah,
and
not
all
a
of
lot
them.
of like exterior stuff going on in this film, but there is those brief moments of him thinking of his
Heroism.
pregnant wife.
Yeah, so you know he's gonna make it.
Yeah, so all
The
right.
purple one?
There's the axe scene, which I think is sweet.
Wait.
Also, he puts the
No,
You're the yellow one?
gas
You're
tank
the
into the
yellow.
fridge.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
That one. All right.
That was neat.
Masters.
When I open the door, you turn it.
I
Yeah, and
was
he turned
wondering,
the fridge with that. That's
I
fucking
thought they
sweet.
were gonna like just let the fridge blow up because they put a
I know,
a leaky propane tank in
No.
there. I was like, I swear to God.
But
they
knowing
better-
that he turned it with the grenade was
Yeah,
actually
that was
even
sweet.
kind of even extra sweet for me, and I was just like, all right, that's pretty dope. Then I hop through the hole, and
eat
then
my corn.
there's just running. There's mash a little less there, me.
Shouldn't have said that.
The audio's gonna suffer in this video.
You're the
for
one
this.
stopping.
Yeah. So. Then there's like a lull for a while because it's like down to like a dude and his homie cop who's like pretty injured at this point, and he's dragging this carcass around. And then
Is the mic on?
Yeah.
Okay. And then we get into what I would call the next 26-minute segment, the baton action, which is fucking sweet.
Yeah, the baton use was really good. That whole hallway fight was pretty great.
Yeah.
The death of the guy on the just completely destroyed door.
Oh, I can't wait to get to that leap back one. Yeah,
Yeah.
like that. Yeah. So, like, here's the thing: when the action in this movie is shining, it is fucking glowing in a really good way.
Yeah. So as far as the motion thing that I said I wanted to get back to.
Yeah, get to that.
The camera motion in this whole thing,
yeah.
It's like somebody watched how The Office has like kind of a slightly shaky cam, and they're like, okay, that's a very popular thing to do. Let's just turn it up a little bit. Let's just be more shaky.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, you even sent a snap to the group of the worst moment of it.
That was the worst part.
Like, it was so noticeable then whenever he was hacking at the floor, and like, the action had calmed down, but he was hacking the floor, and the camera was just like, it was like you were on a boat.
Yep.
You know?
And if I'm ever doing the filming, I think day one, this is like what you just don't do. Like, even like instinctually, I'm not gonna follow this.
It's just the simplest part.
Yeah.
But you know, my only issues with like some of the scenes and some of the filming of it was like some scenes were super dark, and I think that if you had like a DVD copy of this and you watched it in a really dark room, I watched the second half of this movie in the complete dark, and that made it a lot better because this movie was dark a lot of the time. But I mean, all in all, like it definitely did what it tried to set out to do. I think it was just like jarring.
You can't just keep crouching everything you can.
I personally think Mad Dog was like my favorite character, only because like he just set down a gun and was like,
nah.
Yeah.
That's not how I like to do this.
I don't normally use these things.
But then he chose to do 2 versus 1, and that scene is by far my most hated scene of this movie.
Is it because it took 6 minutes?
Yes, I even sent them a text. I was like, some say Mad Dog is fighting those 2 to this day.
Oh, that's what that one was? Okay.
Because they fought for like 30 minutes.
And it was definitely far from the best action.
The whole time it was going, I kept thinking, like, in what situation does this man think he's going to get the chance to kill either one of these guys?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he has to get both of them so beat down that neither of them can help the other as he's trying to, like,
do the finishing move.
The guy who was getting tortured had a lot more stamina than I thought he really should.
Dude was hanging there like a meat on a rack.
It was getting drilled.
Just been getting wailed.
Well, here's the thing, though. Like, and
what's the thing, Mason?
Well, I'm
Tell
gonna defend it a little bit. This is a martial arts movie. Everyone has stamina for days. I don't think that anyone can like take a billion punches and have that in real life. But like,
or just the energy to do that.
The energy, it's just
fighting takes a whole lot of energy.
I was about to say, have you ever just moved
go
around for that much without even throwing punches?
Yeah, it's so draining, and I don't even know. I mean, you saw the peak fighter Logan Paul fighting or whatever, and they were just like hugging each other. Like, it just wears you out. And our hero never got tired. He
did for the moment until he met his brother.
I mean, he got a little tired whenever he was like in the wall. Like he took a little machete nap in there.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
that was cool.
Did y'all like the mini boss?
That was
cool. The guy with the machete that was walking around all the time.
That guy sucked, dude.
He made some really stupid decisions. I think walking down that hallway, tapping the machete against the wall, like, what are you doing? Like, why did you stop doors?
Yeah, that's all I felt about.
It was just like clinking the glass bottles together.
Yeah.
Just like come out to play, you know?
Come out to play.
But he didn't actually go. He didn't go until he ran into them, which was like made no sense. Like, why did that? You know, that goes back to the zombie thing. That's what that was. Is it was a zombie moment of like it's getting close, things are about to get tense. He turned around.
Yeah.
The zombie turned around. We're good. We're not gonna die.
They wanted to have. Yeah. There was just something that wanted to be full of suspense, and I think it's it's interesting that there's not necessarily a whole lot of characters that stand out, and like no names that I could give you, but like this movie has enough moments where I'm like, yeah, all right, this part's annoying, but the fight was sweet, and this moment was here, but the fight was sweet, and I gotta keep going back to like the action that works, right? Because yes, the cinematography on it is rough on some of the scenes, and like again, the motion action, like I was talking about earlier, and you guys probably already covered while I was distracted playing Ice. Was that it was just like, oh my god, dude. When cinematography can just ruin action, it doesn't matter how good it is. Yeah, Mason, you're gonna jump.
Yeah,
and
you
avoid
gotta dodge.
Why
that.
don't I have anything to shoot?
You just
You
gotta
do
jump.
actually.
Yeah, you
don't
gotta-
I have to like over and fireball?
Hey,
Probably, yeah.
Put that.
There you go.
Alright.
So-
Your ruined is perfect, man.
I know. But
Damn.
What were y'all saying?
yeah, I just want to talk really quickly on the action that works with it. So again, I think like they've done some of the more interesting choreography I've ever seen with like melee weapons for sure. Like
Yes, those were good fights.
the baton and the knife fights, I remember thinking were like, well, okay, some of the knife fights, because some of the knife fights is pretty vague in this movie, but the earlier
Yeah.
knife fights with the baton and stuff like that, I thought were fucking excellent. Like the choreography in a couple of these scenes, or 2 or 3 scenes, that just really crush it far above and beyond. The one that kind of stands out is a slow decline in the action for me. This movie very much has like a peak and a drop for action. So you hit like axe scene, baton scene, and then it starts kind of going downhill. Like the scene we haven't talked about yet is like the fight in the drug lab,
Oh, good point.
and that one
That
is
was kind of sweet. I
There
liked
was
it.
one hilarious part where like they're in the middle of like the battle royale, and there's a guy who just runs on a table to like leap onto our
Yeah.
main guy, and the main guy just like takes him out of the air and just like
smashes
throws
him
him.
onto the pillar. Or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah. I like seeing the old dude do fucking shit all in this fight. Like his action is so bad.
Yeah.
But it's intentional. Like obviously he's not.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do? I didn't practice martial arts, and it's like, how is every rookie in this fucking squad know martial art, but old man fucking McGee over here?
Why
doesn't?
did the old man also think that they could do it by just him and the sergeant? Like, you remember, like, when they were,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
going
before-
in? He was like, why'd you bring all these people? We could have
Yeah.
done this ourselves. Like,
Yeah.
why? You seem to know the most about this situation, and, yeah.
A part of me
Made
thinks
no
that maybe some of like the subtitles and some of the translations were off just a little
They
bit.
would have to be off a lot.
Because like they were stupid to think that and they set it up for us so much, like they're unstoppable, all these junkies and all this crap. And
hyped up on meth.
yeah,
They
so
don't feel pain.
I'm hoping that they like have some kind of disconnect of like, maybe, you know, this, I don't know, maybe we're not as good, but you know,
Right.
maybe we have a chance, I don't know, but
I do want to point out something about the subtitles, because it's something I read actually while I was just like random Googling about this movie, was that apparently the subtitles are incredibly localized with it. So, like, some guy had said that they had watched it in whatever country theirs was. It wasn't like an Asian country, but I think it was like a European country. But they were like, there are so many swear words in this movie that were never in the movie, and they're like, because this is American.
Yeah,
Like-
I don't remember any like swears.
Yeah, like the language actually used versus like what is actually subtitled was like they're like, oh, it's going to America, just say fuck, or what the fuck do you think? Like it was stuff like that. And as the like subtitles came up, it made me realize I'm like, oh my god, this is a generic American cop talk. Like this is a generic American movie talk throughout most of this film.
That's ultimately where I feel like this movie is very annoying.
Oh,
It
yeah.
does feel like it is the vast majority just generic cop SWAT movie.
Right. Now
And
that
it
being
seems
said,
like
I will give it the
does
pass
seem
on
like
it
a
because that
foreign
may not
take on
right.
American movies.
Yeah, because I'm like, oh yeah, this feels like Asian countries talking about how American cops handle fucking anything.
maybe, but this is also in 2011.
Right.
But
I mean,
it's
that's
also
still always
supposed
been
to be
relevant.
taking place within their country too.
Yeah.
It's not like it's an American.
I mean, and to be fair, this could have been straight just filmed in the Philippines with just anybody recording in at any time, and that would have tracked across the board. But
Agreed.
Also, did you guys get the feeling too, and I just now remembered it, remember when that kid ran away, like the second spotter guy
And they
ran
Yeah.
shot the kid.
No,
well,
well, no,
that
the-
was the first kid. The second
Then
kid
he
hit the button.
slammed the button, which this button isn't for an emergency. This button is for the cops right here.
Yeah.
That's when you know
Well,
that this
no,
is a
it was-
bad...
it
Well, that was just like a
general
plain intercom one.
It was a
but
siren.
It's a snitch
But,
clock one though.
yeah,
Snitch
it
clock.
is specifically there, and every tenant knows that it is for cops.
Yeah.
Which,
I hate that
again, a
character.
reason why not to be in there. But,
No.
you know.
Talk about credit where credit's due. I'm not gonna fault the like how the movie translates because I have no idea what the original intent of that like dialogue is compared to like what it localized to.
Yeah.
Like other people in
I
other
mean,
countries were
you
saying that it
could
wasn't
say that there's
close.
probably this movie could feel different just with
Right.
some different
I
context.
think the core plot still lands, just the interactions between characters. You're just like, oh my god, who cares?
But I mean, that doesn't really bother me because again, it's whoa, what was
Yeah.
that?
God dang, I'm already the worst character. Fucking lasso
Well,
me.
I won with that character last time. Hey,
Whoa, look at that!
command
You can
grabs.
actually lasso somehow with that.
I was gonna say, but that stuff like doesn't really bother me. That like kind of external stuff because what I'm here for is the action and
Right.
the choreography.
The choreography
And I really
was there.
I loved every like one bit of the melee kills, and even how they like sometimes use the guns. Like I thought was kind of interesting. Like, and one of the ones at the beginning was like the lieutenant guy or sergeant or whatever was fighting with somebody on the ground and like shot him in the head or whatever. Kind of like a John Wick moment, I guess.
Yeah.
And I do like that like people died in this movie. Like, granted, there was a time they were red shirts, but like I like that it was like that. Like when the hero was like punching people, like he was killing people, like
barely.
He had like knives and stuff. Well, it was occasional.
He would take forever to kill him.
Sometimes like he would just knock somebody out and do like a superhero daredevil kind of kill, and then other times he would get like a knife and just freaking go to town on people.
Yeah, there didn't seem to be any like logic to his whether you would die or just be incapacitated by him.
Yeah.
It's just whatever worked out best in that second.
Yeah, exactly. And if he had a knife on hand, that would be great. I mean, they even used. I thought it was funny, like when they fought Mad Dog, like the final boss of the movie. Like they had to get him to stage 2. They had to like bust the light fixture and stab him in the neck, and then Mad Dog was like, "Roar." Then he went to the next phase and was like trying to get him there.
Mad Dog should definitely not have been standing after taking a glass to the jugular.
Well, so here's the thing though. Have you guys ever felt one of those fluorescent tubes?
Dude, yeah.
They are the thinnest.
Dude, that thing should be snapping
of
on
glass.
him, though.
He would have broken it in his hand upon touching the thing, let alone stabbing. And then you know what it was cool for?
You know, I didn't even catch that. That's what.
But the cool thing
those things should have been shattering through.
The coolest part of that was like a plot device to see blood like draining out of it, like a maple syrup out of a tree.
Which
was
pretty
neat.
Sweet though.
That was cool, but
I'll say that the choreography of the final fight, I was underwhelmed. Like for the dual brother thing, it wasn't nearly as good as any of the hallway scenes.
It took so long.
many other scenes were so much more interesting.
Yeah.
Because every time it's like, oh, main bad guy's on the ground. Well, we better pick him up so that we can do some move to him. And
yes, I noted that too.
Every time. Well, it's like all you're doing is helping him up. You're not doing anything here.
But the thing is, with this whole time, they laid guns down in order to just beat the fuck out of each other. Alright? I understand that this movie is what it is, but it's just like if we're gonna get mad about them just tearing each other apart and bashing each other against walls and fridges and tables, like my issue is like the gun's on the table the whole time and like they're actively not using it.
Listen, Mason.
But that's fine.
2016 had the puzzle rooms. And 2011 was the time to just sit there and go beat addicts at their homes as you were as a cop. You know what I mean? Like that's that's their vacation.
Yeah.
But, I got a question.
Dylan's got a question.
Yeah.
What? He never does. He's usually like, a question.
I hate this segment, but this one was perfect for it.
As he twiddles his mustache.
Yeah, it just gets caught in your mouth sometimes.
Yeah, that's when you shave.
My beard, your beard never gets caught in my mouth.
That's a shame.
So the question, unless we got any other points, I think
no,
you're
good.
The question is,
I did like the score of this movie though.
Yes, the soundtrack was awesome.
Okay, soundtrack's good. Yeah, it starts. the beginning song of the credits is Mike Shinoda with Chino Moreno.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Deftones, baby, Chino Moreno, right off the bat with that one. I also love their collaborations.
The credit song was neat.
Yeah, that's
what a final. That was a super.
Yeah.
Finish him.
So, the question, boys.
All right. I only spin the joystick and smash all the buttons.
Yeah, all right. The question: is this a $4 movie? I had to spend $4 to rent this movie.
Good question.
So did I.
Yeah,
you guys are nuts.
Oh yeah.
It was too hard to find, and I was getting annoyed, and I only had one day off to sit there and watch this, and I said, all right. Fuck it, let's spend $4.
It's a $4 movie.
It is.
I mean, come on.
Movie,
that's a very low bar.
Nathan.
Yeah.
We've got two $4 movies.
Hell no.
Hell no.
Really?
I don't think it's definitely not worth much more.
Says the one who owns Queen of the Damned.
Hey, that was I would.
Yeah, I would pay $8.
Don't even.
You'll
say
find
it.
out soon enough.
Don't
where
even
where
say
I put
it.
this compared to Queen.
Oh,
of the
you're
Damned.
disgusting.
Oh boy, I love it. But anyway, I would say, I got enough enjoyment out of the $4.
I was worried to death that I was gonna have to pay $4 is the thing.
Oh no, well.
And I wouldn't have been so mad at it.
Listen,
afterwards. afterwards.
I was gonna be way more critical as soon as I hit that buy button, and I'm like, you fucking better.
Yeah.
I know it's $4, and that's not that much, but you fucking better earn this $4. And I can tell you right where the $4 moment earned it for me. Was them fighting, and a moment we mentioned earlier, and the guy does the backwards fall with the guy's neck onto the thing, and I was like, yes.
Oh, I was facing this way.
Onto the door frame?
Yeah. The door frame drop, and then right into the Badon scene. Like, I mean, that was right before the
It
scene,
held
so.
on that for a moment, just looking at the main character, as he seemed to
Looked him
have
right
been
in the
shocked
how
by
that
murder
happened.
he
Yeah.
committed.
Dude, I'll tell you right there, that scene, well, I was like, you know when you watch certain action and you're just like, oh my fucking god. You know, you just have that very open reaction because you're just like, damn, that was awesome.
That was.
I had that a couple times in this movie, and I think that for me is worth like $4 on that in exchange. Yeah. Aerial combos.
Okay, I'll ask a more in-depth question. So since we've all seen it,
See, this is why I hate the question.
do you all think that the action in this movie was better, or John Wick 1? Just the action.
It's not even close. Shut up. It's John Wick 1.
See, I honestly kind of like this one. Like, just the action.
This one has some moments that I think are really well choreographed, but I don't think the whole way through I was feeling that. And I think it dragged in a lot of spots that I wish it hadn't have. Dragging in the action, too.
See, I disagree. I think I like the action in John Wick. Or in the
I agree.
more. I like the.
Yeah, I mean, we're all on the same page.
Yeah, we're all
here.
agreeing.
But the whole package, which is what I want more from a movie like John Wick, is it's got a neater world, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, that's
I'm that one. Whoops.
You both are. So the thing is too, and I'll say this about like tower type movies, these like level by level type movies, the Belko Experiment, Tower Heist, all these things, the platform, they all don't even have to be like fighting or shoot 'em ups either. They always
See, I can
they
do that
always
too.
hold a certain place, I think, in my heart because like they're always kind of good. Like you know what the scheme is, you know that they have to either get to the top or guess what, they have to get to the bottom. This movie did both of those things all the time. Just I don't know, halfway through they didn't even care about getting to the top. Half of them wanted to just leave.
Yeah.
But like it's a very weird like I don't know, I don't want to say dynamics, but the situation in which they had to like go up levels a lot like you would in a game.
Mm-hmm.
I can appreciate that because you know what the final thing is. The boss is upstairs. Big deal.
No, I agree with you, Mason. I think that the Tower movies, as you would call it, like this, Belko Experiment, Dread, the most recent one, all of them are all universally pretty good. Like, not like great, not like excellent. They have moments and stuff like that. They're not going to win any Oscars or awards or anything for their trouble.
But they're going to be a fun hour 10, hour 20, hour 30.
And there's probably, if it's any more than that, then yeah, it tends to be pretty extra in that exchange. But overall, like, yeah, dude, they tend to have some pretty sweet, like, that's a pretty sweet standard.
I'm telling you, that character just snipes. Should we move on to scores?
Yeah. Let's start with Nathan.
All right, Nathan, we're starting with you.
Man.
Hey, Nathan, I don't know if you heard, but we're going to start with you.
Hey, Nathan, you want to go first?
I mean, I guess
Stop it.
I'll have to do it.
All right.
Okay, so this movie has good action moments, a weak story, drags in spots, and also has way too shaky of a camera.
For that, I have to give it a 9 out of 10.
And for that reason,
and I don't know. I didn't really enjoy it that much. I thought it was interesting whenever it did feel a little bit like a zombie movie, which I thought was cool. But I also thought that led to some annoying things that happened as well. That machete tapping thing, I thought that was the dumbest. Just some of the characters were just stupid in this movie.
Mad Dog.
Yeah. So I'm gonna land at a 4 on this. It might have a couple of cool standout action scenes, but you know what? Some really good YouTube videos do too.
Yeah. Little choreography can go a long way.
Yeah.
I was torn actually between a 7 and a 7.5 with this movie. This movie does exactly what you expect it to. And I like the fact that me and Price were talking about this earlier. It's from Indonesia, I guess Malaysia kind of area.
That's what I'm thinking of. I think it was in that ballpark.
And this wasn't Korean. Like I kind of expected it to be Korean once I started it. The fact that it's kind of from a
talking, it was so fast.
Yeah, and it's from a place that you're not expecting. the choreography, I do like the drug room scene towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
That last boss battle lasted a little bit too long. They had the plot twist of, like, the sergeant, the old guy was in it all along.
We never even talked about the brother.
I don't care.
Nobody
about
cares.
Or the ending.
Or
Yeah. Nobody cares.
It's I mean, honestly,
that's plot, and that's
movie,
not what we're here for.
Yeah, that movie wasn't really about that anyway.
Yeah.
I'm gonna land at a 7. I don't think that I can give it too much more than that. It was a fun ride. It was just one of those. I don't know. I try to base it off of if I would ever tell anyone to watch it. This is a cool movie, and for 2011, I think it was pretty sweet. If they were to remake that today, I think it'd be a little bit better, but not by a whole lot. But
Well, I'm kind of with Mason on the fact that, like, you know what you're going in for in this movie, and that's exactly what you get. Which I'm fine with. I like that. It's a little too long, just a little bit too fat for my liking, because it doesn't really need a plot. You just need to know the objective and watch all the cool action. There's a lot of cool action in it. Oddly enough, like, the camera didn't really bother me. I don't know why. There were sometimes I noticed when they were just talking, like, with nothing dramatic going on, and it was still kind of, like, wobbly for some reason, which that's kind of annoying. But everything else, like the fights and all that kind of stuff, I kept up with fine, which was the main part of this. And they did a good job of, like, mixing the audio with the punches and stuff. Like, every punch sounded unique and every kick sounded good, so I appreciate that. But it's still not something I want to watch too often, but it does what it does well, and for that reason, I'm going to give it a 6.
Hey, 6 is pretty good.
Yeah, it's above average, definitely.
Shit, all your stuff.
I think the real question, actually, in retrospect, should have been which Mad Dog is better, this Mad Dog or
Ooh,
Mad Dog
don't
from,
bring that up.
from Warrior.
I liked Mad Dog in this
yeah.
one.
I
That's
forgot
what we were
about
talking
that.
about in that group message.
Yeah. No, that's what I
No.
thought.
Because he said something about. Like,
When I heard Mad Dog, I was like, what's Mad Dog from Warrior have to do with any
Yeah.
of this? Yeah, I'm actually gonna line up right with Mason on this one and give this one a big old thick 7.
it is a thick 7.
It's a thick 7.
It's
it would never, like, it's too fat to budge
you-
over to 7.5.
What do you
that's for
think
sure.
would have helped it go to a 7.5 for you, or
7?
even an 8?
8 would be hard. I don't
I
think
don't
this
think it
movie is
could've
ever an
gotten
8
an
movie. To get to 0.5, it would need to have.
Broccoli?
Yes. I'm gonna pick it all up.
It would
I'm
need to
gonna
have,
pick it
like, a plot I
Don't eat
care
my
about,
broccoli.
or a world I cared about, or characters that I cared about, right? Like,
Yeah.
it needs that little extra character investment.
Oh, let's try.
Well-
Like, when I think of Reign of Fire, I cared about fucking Matthew McConaughey being jacked as shit and, like,
And
leaping
the
into a dragon's
helicopters.
mouth, right? Like, the action is great, but then it's like, I have just enough that the world's cool and the characters are, like, kind of cool. This movie is like, this is modern world with addicts, with cops that are everyday folk that aren't particularly impressive or special other than they happen to know a lot of martial arts. So I really need something extra from this movie other than just being great, like, fight scenes, 2/3 of the time.
Oh, I got you in my corner.
This
I'm in the
movie,
corner.
this movie definitely leans much closer to a 6.5 for me in my heart, but
Good
7
job.
feels great because I just remember there were a couple moments that I audibly was like, "Holy shit!" Like in the action sequences, and that if I can get that reaction out of a movie with the low
Yeah.
expectations of being an action movie, that's enough for me. The fact that I felt validated that I was like, spent $4 on this and I wasn't disappointed, then that's fine. Is this a perfect movie? No. Is it longer than it needs to be? Absolutely. Is the plot necessary? Not really. Really, this could have just been 40 minutes of fight scenes that were just great, but then I'd be like, well, we need juxtaposition. So then it always needs to be at least be an hour to just give me a little bit of fluff to why they're there.
I think the 0.5 for me would have been pacing the deaths down a little bit because they didn't have a team in 12
They're
minutes.
red
They didn't have
shirts.
a fucking
You
team.
want to hold on to these.
They're
guys.
the red shirts.
Why
That's
did you say
their
a SWAT team
point.
of rookies? When I think of SWAT team, I don't think there's a rookie on the squad.
Yeah.
I mean, every
Um,
SWAT guy's gonna be a rookie at some point.
A rookie
He's
at
not gonna-
SWAT.
He's
Yeah,
not. He's not
but
going to be on the
not,
SWAT team though. He's going to
This
be
is
in
their
like,
first
yeah, he
off,
is.
forces.
and it's way too big. But anyway, without further ado, there's a wheel to spin. I love it.
Give me,
You want it?
put it on my
Okay.
knobbly knees.
All right. Mason, you gotta spin it. Or Nick.
Ready? I haven't spun it yet this whole season.
Okay. Wait, hold on. Whose movie pick is next?
Probably yours still.
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Ah, fuck me. All right.
Ready?
Spin the wheel.
One of this off.
Oh, that was
All right, that was a heck of a
I
spin.
know. I go big.
a.
King,
Put some more elbow grease
Come
on
on.
it.
Uncut gems.
Yeah!
I'm into that. That's fun.
I was just wanting to watch that
I wrote
recently.
it.
Well, asking you shall
Wait, is that
receive.
yours?
No, it's yours.
I thought it was.
It's yours.
Sweet. Why did you grow?
We'll see.
I have no idea what that even is.
You haven't seen it?
It's the Adam
I
Sandler
think it
movie.
might be on Netflix still.
Yeah, it might still be on there.
I will warn, if you haven't seen it before, if you get nervous or have some kind of affliction that makes you kind of nervous, probably not the movie for you. This is like the one time I watched the movie and I was like, I am getting anxious. Do you know the part I'm talking about? The door?
Mm-hmm.
This is Adam Sandler's like way different role, but that's all we'll say about that.
Yeah.
Yep. Anyway, guys, make sure to tune in next week for Uncut Gems. Hit the bell. Comment. What do you guys think about action? Do you guys want just the action? Do you want the plot? Do you want more John Wick? Do you want more of the raid? Let us know in the comments below.
Please let us know.
The
in the comments.
transporter.
Give this a like if you like it. Yeah, I was about to say.
Porn.
Oh gosh, yeah. Also,
Or dislike it if just so we know you're there.
if you do dislike it, let us know what you dislike in the comments. Or if you just want to say fuck you guys suck, that's fine. It gets all the traction all the same.
We'll like it.
Thank you.
We'll like your comments.
Yeah, we will.
We'll pin it.
We'll pin it. We'll make it the #1
We
comment.
can bring up a little box on the
These
next
guys
video and be
fucking
like,
suck.
this guy.
Yeah.
He knows.
He gets it.
Be that guy. Be our #1 fan or our #1 enemy, but just make sure to show up and let us know. Make sure to make it next week, guys. Uncut Gems.
Bye.
It's not about circumcisions, I promise.
Oh, what if it was?
They are all
The
Jewish.
lead is a Jewish.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
We don't say the short term.
God.
No, that's not okay.
Just like the fact that I know I'm gonna have to relive that door scene is already like a lot.